Nameless Anonymous.
Kind of chronicling my adventures with my first tube amplifier, the Egnater Vengeance.
Da 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 da. So, I've got 4 6L6 tubes. This kind of work biasing usually comes with the risk of killing yourself, but it turns out I don't have to.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Egnater Vengeance. I'm really excited to have it. It is my first tube amplifier. I think with this, I should be able to create a better tone for the music that I play with Nameless Anonymous, and hell, even beyond that. Who fucking knows at this point? I actually don't really even know how good this thing sounds personally, because I did pick it up with some problems. Now I did register it, and also was trying to find out if the tubes that came with it when I bought it from the other gentleman were the same tubes that it had when it was made. So I went ahead and bought tubes. Now, the cool part about this is that I didn't know prior to ordering this, or doing my research for this and ordering the tubes, how relatively cheap tubes are. I had no fucking clue, or maybe I just got really bad tubes. But I'll be honest, from what I looked at, the shit that it was pretty good rated, still didn't come out as expensive as I thought. I was thinking that for one of these it was gonna be like fucking $30, $50, and I was gonna spend a buttload of money on tubes. I only spent about 100 and some change, and I hear that these JJ 6L6 tubes are pretty fucking good. Now, before changing them out, I do want to explain that I did do some preliminary testing before this video, and I didn't really want to record it because I didn't want to record myself exploding in case I did something stupid. So, I will share with you what I did is I turned this motherfucker on, and channel 1, I just wanted to see what the clean channel sounded like, and holy shit, it was bad. I'm talking about the signal cut out regardless for the clean channel, but if I added any gain on there, automatically it just came out like shit. Like, I'm talking the worst signal I've ever heard. It wasn't like screechy, it didn't scream at me, but it cut out, and like I could hear like constant dips in the signal, and that was really bad. So I switched immediately over to the channel 2, and that one sounded a little bit better at first. Again, I started playing it, and it didn't sound too bad. It was very noisy. I could hear a lot of shit coming out of the background, and that made me think, if I understand signal chain for a tube amplifier correctly, that made me think that the problem might be in the preamp section. So again, this was before I knew how inexpensive tubes were, relatively. And so I was just trying to save as much money and time as possible. So I was literally just going to try to cheat my way out and just buy the preamp set, which would have been a really fucking stupid thing to do. Just, for the future generations, you know, just buy all the tubes. If you get a used machine, just get new tubes all around. Get all the fucking new tubes, and then from time to time swap them out as you see fit, but in pairs. Anyway, so channel 2 was very noisy, but I was playing with it and just trying to see what I could work with, and I did notice that the gain pot was very crackly, so I think there might be some loose shit in there. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get in there and maybe resolder some shit, who knows. I'll have to figure that out too. But after a couple of minutes of playing with the gain up, I did notice sag, and I mean
deep fucking sag.
there was a massive difference in signal, and it wasn't constant, but it did show up, and it would come down really low, and then right back up to where it was. So I went ahead and bought 2 sets of these and 6 with preamp tubes. Right? They're so tiny. They're so small. I haven't really tried any of the features out, special features, because I've been worried about making this worse and breaking the new piece of equipment I've got. So it might turn out I need to do some internal work, but let's see what we can do. You can't see it, but I definitely can. This is a very dusty motherfucker, so I'm gonna go grab a rag real fast, and we're gonna clean this off and give us a more sanitary working space. Yeah. All right. This might actually work too. Here we go. All right. So for dust. You can probably see that shit. Alright, so these tubes are kind of getting in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and remove them. Now the old tubes, I'm just going to remove by hand. To press on the locking braces here, while I remove the tube 1 here. Now, you want to take a look at that. These are called ruby cubes, and yeah, you know what? I just noticed that it says Egnater on the back, so these are the tubes that fucking came with this machine. This is a really old set of tubes. No wonder it was having a problem. I hope this guy didn't play it for very long while he had it, because I'm like shit, man. If he played it for a long time before selling it or before not playing it anymore, that really could have caused some damage to the internal components there. I'm going to grab an actual rag, wherever the fuck I have it, so that I can put these tubes in there. So give me a second! The way this is set up is it's got the preamp section towards the front of the amplifier, front plate, and then on the back section it's got the actual power tubes. The power tubes are labeled 1 through 4, and they are paired 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. So, I'm thinking maybe 1 and 4 are channel 1, 2 or 3 are channel 2. And who fucking knows at this point? I'm gonna go ahead and install my first fucking preamp tube, right? Yeah. Now they say that you shouldn't touch the tubes with your bare hands if you want to extend their life. Now, I can't say whether that is or isn't true. I'm not an expert necessarily in these tubes. I have handled ceramic tubes, and yeah, with ceramic tubes, your oils can actually fucking ruin the tubes. So it's best to operate those in sterile environments. Now, with these tubes, I don't really know. They're made of glass. They may not do anything to your signal at all, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. Because after all, I still did spend some money on these tubes. I want to preserve them as much as possible. Alright, so here we go. First insertion. And you gotta wiggle it in there. Voila! First GG power tube. Here you go. Installed properly and straight. I will take its protection encasing fucking spring-loaded tube here and just pop that on there. Alright, this is going to be a long, arduous process, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up. I will stop again right before we get to the power tube section, and you know, probably talk your ear off a little bit more, and then we will come back after I've finished those, and I will get into the biasing portion of it, okay? So, I'll be back.
Great.